Hi, welcome back to my channel. And as you know, last day we have discussed about how to how to divide two algebraic expressions, and we discussed few important problems. Today we are going to continue the discussion, and by today's video we will wind up the chapter factorization. Okay, we will wind up this chapter through this video session, and by the next video we will start the next chapter, exponents and powers. And listen to the video because this video consists very important questions. So please watch the video without skipping any portion. So this is your question: divide 52 PQR into P plus Q into Q plus R into R plus P. So numerator consists of many times 52 PQR into P plus Q into Q plus R into R plus P divided by 104 PQ into Q plus R into R plus P. This is your question. So at first look you may understand that this question is going to be very difficult question, but it is not like that. It is very simple question. You just see how we can solve this question out. See, very simple question. We just see here, you can see Q plus R, no? And numerator also consists of Q plus R. You can cancel both because both are same, no? And see, denominator is there is a term R plus P, numerator also there exists a term R plus P, cancel that term. And see, here P and this P will get cancelled, Q and this Q will get cancelled. So what all the things are remaining now? So 52 into P plus Q, 52 is remaining, then P plus Q is remaining, and 1 R also remaining in the numerator, and there is no other terms remains. 52 R P plus Q will remain in the numerator, and denominator 144 will remain, and nothing will not remain now, isn't it? See, all the remaining times get cancelled, so only 104 will remain. And now we just see, can you cancel 52 and 104? Yes, you can cancel. By which number? By 52 itself you can cancel. Why? Because in 52, how many 52s are there? 1. In 104, how many 52s are there? 2. If you have any doubt, you just multiply 52 into 2. You will get 104. So what is the final answer? Your final answer will be P plus Q into R divided by 2. This is your final answer. P plus Q into R divided by 2. Moving to the next question. So next question, divide y square plus, divide y square plus 7y plus 10 by y plus 5. This is your question. Y square plus 7y plus 10 divided by y plus 5. So let me solve this question. So we have to divide y square plus 7y plus 10 by what? Y plus 5. This is your question. So this is a different kind of question. So you can write the question as some special case, because this is a different kind. This is a little bit standard question. You just see this question. This is your numerator and this is your denominator. You can understand that numerator, can you identify any common term? It is y square, it is 7y, it is 10. Here in both term y is common. But can you see any common number for three terms? No. There will not exist any common term for y square, 7y, 10. Can you see any common? No. For first two terms there exists maybe y. But second and third do not share any common. That means altogether, when you consider first, second, third term, you cannot identify any common terms. So you cannot take anything common outside, no? Then how we can divide this one? Can you cancel this y and this y? Never. Why? Because here the operation is addition. Then we cannot cancel like that. If suppose the operations are into, instead of addition, if the operation is multiplication, then we can cancel. But here we cannot cancel. Can you cancel 5 and 10? No. Because here the operation is addition. If it is into, then you can cancel. So in short, we have to go for a different kind of approach. Okay. So that approach is just like this. Select the numerator, because denominator is in the simplest form. We cannot factorize the denominator. We cannot simplify the denominator, because denominator is in its simplified form. So take the numerator and start thinking about the numerator. You just take the numerator. So this is your numerator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factorize this question. I'm going to use a separate method for this for the factorization of this question. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify the numerator. This is a question. From this question I have take the numerator separately, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to factorize this question. In order to factorize this question, I'm going to use a separate technique or separate method. You just see. That means, listen here, I'm going to write that sum is equal to and product is equal to. You may have doubt that why this Shibin sir is writing this sum and product. There exists a reason for that. We just see. So it is sum and it is product. Sum means sum. Here I am going to write the sum as, here the middle term is 7y, no? Here the middle term is 7y. What is the coefficient of y? 7. Or coefficient of the middle term, that is 7 here. Which 7 plus 7? So that you have to write it as sum plus 7. And then product. Product is equal to last term, which is that 10. 10. You may understood, no? So sum is equal to the middle term's coefficient. What is that? Plus 7. You just write it as sum. Then product is equal to 10. From where this 10 came? The last term with the sign plus 10. You can write it as 10. Plus, you can write plus 7 as 7 itself, and you can write plus 10 as 10. No problem in that. Okay. Anyway, you are supposed to write with the sign. If the sign is plus, no need to write the sign. Suppose the sign is minus, you are supposed to write the sign also. Okay. And after that, so you may understand this much, no? So after that, you have to think in such a way that you have to find two numbers such that their sum should be 7 and product should be 10. Which all are the numbers? We need two numbers such that their sum should be plus 7 and product should be 10. Which all are the numbers? 2 and 5. Why? Because we just add 2 and 5, or take the sum of 2 and 5. When you take the sum of 2 and 5, we are getting 7. And multiply 2 and 5, or take the product of 2 and 5, we are getting 10. That means these are the two numbers such that their sum is equal to plus 7 and product is equal to 10. See, these are the two numbers such that their sum is equal to 7 and product is equal to 10. So these are the numbers which we need. Okay. And this is, here there is a name for the method. This method is known as splitting the middle term. We will discuss this method in 9th standard. Once again we will discuss this method in 9th standard. Okay. And this method is starting from 8th standard. That's why this method came here in this problem. Okay. So numbers are 2 and 5. This method is known as splitting the middle term. So from the headline itself, you may understood that splitting the middle term. After calculating these two numbers, what we are supposed to do is this numerator, let me write as it is, y square plus 7y plus 10 is equal to, what I am going to do is, this y square as it is, this plus 10 as it is without any change. First term and last term as it is without any change. Instead of this 7y, what I am going to do is, I am going to use this number. And 7y I am going to represent in terms of these two numbers. Which are the two numbers I obtained? Plus 2 and plus 5. Plus 2 and plus 5 are the numbers which I obtained. So I am going to express the middle term by using this number, which is the first number, plus 2. So let me write it as plus 2y. And which is the second number, plus 5. Let me write it as plus 5y. So you can ask me a doubt that how 7y can represent it as 2y plus 7y. What is 2y plus, how 7y can be represented as 2y plus 5y? What is the meaning of 2y plus 5y? We are getting the same 7y, no? So no problem. We can easily change 7y as 2y plus 5y. How do we know that 7y can be replaced as 2y plus 5y? Because we got the numbers as plus 2 and plus 5. By using this number, I have split the middle term like this. Okay, you may understand, no? Now just see. Okay. From these two terms, and now you know the regrouping. You know the process of regrouping. We already learned that. I am going to use the technique of regrouping here. സോ ഇത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ആദ്യം കാണുമ്പോൾ ചെറിയ ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടാവും. 1-2 പ്രോബ്ലം കൂടെ നമ്മളിന്ന് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇത് ക്ലിയർ ആവും. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഇപ്പം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ചെറിയ ഡൗട്ട് തോന്നിയാലും അടുത്ത 2 പ്രോബ്ലം കൊണ്ട് ക്ലിയർ ആവും. ഓക്കെ. സോ നോട്ട് അപ്ലോഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലായിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മനസ്സിലായിട്ടുണ്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് അപ്ലോഡ് ചെയ്യാം. സോ ഈ 2 ടേമും ഈ 2 ടേമും കൂടെ ഞാൻ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ചെയ്തു. എന്നിട്ട് നമ്മൾ റീഗ്രൂപ്പിംഗ് ടെക്നിക്കാണ് നമ്മളിവിടെ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. ഈ 2 നമ്പറിലും കോമൺ ഏതാണ്? രണ്ടിലും y ഉണ്ട്. സോ യു ക്യാൻ ടേക്ക് y ഔട്ട്സൈഡ്. സോ വാട്ട് വിൽ റിമെയിൻ? ഫ്രം ദിസ് y square I have taken y outside. So what will remain? Y will remain. From 2y I took y outside. So 2 will remain. Then from these 2 terms which is common? 5y and 10. For 5 and 10, 5 is a common factor, no? So you can take 5 outside. So what will remain? Y will remain in the first term. From the second term 10 I have take 5 outside. So what will remain? 2 will remain. Why? Because 5 into y is 5y. 5 into 2 is only 10. So you may understood that how this 2 remains here. Okay. From 10 you have taken 5 outside. So 2 will remain because 10 by 5 is 2 now. Okay. Now just see, same method as in regrouping. This is your first term, this is your second term. In bracket same term came, no? So take that term outside from both the term. Y plus 2 you can take outside. So here y will remain. From this term I have taken y plus 2 outside, then 5 will remain. That is plus 5. So that means I expressed y square plus 7y plus 10 as what? Y plus 2 into y plus 5. That means I factorized this question. So this is a special kind of factorization. You have to learn this. So in order to factorize any question like this, you can use this splitting the middle term method. Let me repeat once again. I am going to factorize this question. Please stay with me. Do not go anywhere without skipping any portion. Please stay with me. So this is your question, and I am going to factorize this question by using splitting the middle term. So this is a very new concept for you. So be alert. And just below that, I have write it as sum and product, and straight to the sum. After writing sum, I wrote as 7. From where this 7 came? You just consider the middle term and write the coefficient 7. It's with its sign plus 7 or S7. Then just below sum you are supposed to write product. What you are supposed to write? Straight to the product. Here product is equal to the last number, which is at 10. And now you must think that which all are the numbers such that the speciality of that 2 numbers should be, when you take the sum of the 2 number, that should be plus 7, and when you take the product of the 2 number, that should be 10. Which all are the numbers? 2 and 5, no? Because while you are adding 2 and 5 we are getting 7, and while you are multiplying 2 and 5 we are getting 10. So these are the two numbers. By using these 2 numbers we are going to make some changes in this question, or in this question means this polynomial is equal to this term as it is, last term as it is without any change. This middle term I split by using these 2 numbers like this. Then after regrouping, just apply the process of regrouping, then we will reach here. That means instead of this, now we can write y plus 2 into y plus 5. That means now let me come to the question. Y square plus 7y plus 10 was the question. Instead of that I can replace as what? Y plus 2 into y plus 5, and denominator y plus 5 as it is. You just see now, you can cancel this y plus 5 and y plus 5. Both are same term, no? So what will remain? Y plus 2 only will remain. So this is your answer. So if you write y square plus 7y plus 10 as y plus 2 into y plus 5, this kind of cancellation is possible, then y plus 2 only will remain. So how do you know that y square plus 7y plus 10 can be written as like this? By using splitting the middle term, which I explained just now. So this is the method, and this is the answer. Moving to the next question. So this is your next question. Divide x square plus 12x plus 82 by x plus 8. And now you just see the denominator. Denominator is in its simplified form. So we cannot simplify the denominator again. Now you just start thinking about the numerator. And the numerator is x square plus 12x plus 32. You just take that numerator to right side, and we are going to explore that numerator. X square plus 12x plus 32. We are going to factorize this one. How we can factorize? In order to factorize, we need 2 numbers such that their sum should be equal to what, and their sum product should be equal to what. Sum should be equal to the coefficient of the middle term, that is 12 plus 12 or 12, and product should be equal to the last term with its sign plus 32 or 32. So now you just start thinking about two numbers such that their sum should be 12 and product should be 32. Now we can pause the video and you just think about which all are the two numbers such that we are getting sum should be, that means while you are adding that two number we need to get 12, and while you are multiplying that same number we have to get 32. Which all are the numbers? Can it be 6 and 2? While you are, no, it cannot be 6 and 2, because while you are adding 6 and 2 we will get 8. No, we have to get sum as 12 and product as 32. Let me ask you a question, that can it be 10 and 2? You just take the sum of 10 and 2, 10 plus 2, 12. We are getting the sum as 12. Take the product 10 into 20. We are not getting the product as 32. So the numbers are not like 10 and 2. Think. The numbers should be 8, 4. Why? Because you just add 8 and 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. Multiply 8 into 4. 32. We are getting the product as 32 and sum as 12. So these are the two numbers we must select. And now we can write the same expression, x square plus 12x plus 32, and you can write it as x square, this first term as it is, the last term as it is without any change. So we have two numbers, 8 and 4, and you may understood that how these numbers came. Because while you are adding 8 and 4 we were getting the sum as 12, and while we are multiplying 8 and 4 we are getting the product as 32. So these are the numbers which we need. So by using this number I am going to split the middle term. So 12x, how you can split? By using this middle term, by using these two numbers. Can I write 12x as 8x plus 4x? Okay. Now just see, group it. Okay. What I done is, this 12x I have split by using these two number. That means first term as it is, 32 as it is, last term as it is. First term as it is without any change, and last term also as it is without any change, and this number just split by using these two numbers, 8 and 4. That means 12x we can split as 8x 4x, because first number is plus, that's why I have written as plus 8x, and second number is 4, that is plus 4, that's why I have written the second number as plus 4. So 12x can be written as 8x plus 4x. Now just see, from these two number you just take x outside, and what will remain? From these two number we can easily take x outside, then here x will remain and here 8 will remain, so x plus 8. From these two numbers what we can take outside? From 4 and this 32 you can take 4 outside, because 4 is common factor for 4 and 32. Once you take 4 outside from this term, what will remain? X will remain. From 32 if you take 4 outside, what will remain? What is 32 by 4? 8. 8 will remain. Now just see, now this is the first time, this is the second time, which is common in both times. X plus 8 is common, take outside, what will remain? Here x will remain and here 4 will remain. So this is the factorization of that. That means the numerator can be write as, this numerator can be write as x plus 8 into x plus 4, and denominator as it is x plus 8. So you can cancel these two times, no? So this is the advantage. Once you factorize this numerator, we will get like this, or we will get almost like this, and write that, and denominator as it is, then we can cancel like this, and we will get a very short answer as x plus 4. And moving to the next question, you just see this question. Denominator is very simplest in denominator in its simplest form, and here this is also in its simplest form, and this is the next number, and this is not in simplest form. This is in simplest form, this is in simplest form. So this is not in simplest form, so take that, and we are going to factorize that. Okay, so x square plus 4x plus 3 is the expression we have to focus, and in order to factorize this, what we have to do? We have to write sum and product. What will be sum? Sum should be coefficient of x, or the coefficient of the middle term, that is 4, and product should be the last number. So can you tell me the numbers such that we are getting sum as 4 and product as 3? We need two numbers such that their sum should be 4 and product should be 3. The numbers 1 and 3. Why? Because once you take the product 1 into 3, we will get 3. When you add 1 plus 3, we are getting 4. Once again, add 1 and 3, we are getting 4, and take the product 1 and 3, we are getting 3. So these are the numbers. So what I can do is, this x square plus 4x plus 3 can be written as first term as it is, last term as it is. This 4x can be split by using these two terms. First number is plus 1 and second number is plus 3. So it can be written as plus 1x and plus 3x. And what is common in both terms? X is common. Take that x. So you may understand that first term as it is without any change and the last term as it is without any change, and this middle term we can split by using these two numbers. So you may understood that how these two numbers came, because we need two numbers such that their sum should be 4 and product should be 3, and these are the only possible two numbers, 1 and 3, because while you are adding 1 and 3 we are getting 4, while we are multiplying 1 and 3 we are getting 3. So these are the two numbers, so 1x and 3x. In that way I selected that number and regrouping these two numbers in a group, these two numbers in a group. Okay, what you can take outside from these two groups? X you can take outside, no? So what will remain? Once you take x outside from these two terms, here x will remain from first term, and second term I have taken x outside. From here 1x will remain. From x square 1x is standing outside, then 1x will remain. From 1x x is in outside, then 1 only will remain. Then plus from these two numbers which I can take outside, 3 you can take outside, no? So from 3x, when I take 3 outside, x will remain, plus from 3 I took 3 outside, 1 will remain. So now you just see, now we got two terms which is common in both terms, x plus 1, take that term outside, x plus 1. From this term when I take x plus 1 outside, x only will remain. From this term when I take x plus 1 outside, 3 will remain. So the answer is x plus 1 into x plus 3. So what you can do is, in the question this x as it is, and we factorized this session as x plus 1 into x plus 3. So you can replace this as what? X plus 1 into x plus 3, and denominator x plus 1 as it is. Now you can change, you can see, you can cancel these two terms. What will remain? X into x plus 3 will remain. So this is the way of factorizing the question. Moving to the next question. Moving to the next question, this is your question. This is a different kind of question. 12xy into 9x square minus 16y square divided by 4xy into 3x plus 4y. How we can solve out this question? Let me explain this question. And you can see directly you can cancel few terms, like you can cancel this x and x, you can cancel this y and y, you can cancel this 12 and 4 by 4. In 4 how many? 4? 1. In 12 how many? 4? 3. So that implies it becomes 3 into 9x square minus 16y square divided by 3x plus 4y. It only will remain, isn't it? These are the remaining terms in that question. Now you see 3 as it is, this 3 as it is, this 9x square, how we can write? Think about that. This 9x square, see, otherwise what you can do is, this is in the most simplified form, we cannot do anything here. This is in the most simplified form, we cannot do anything here. This is a expression which is not in simplified form, so take that expression to right side. That is 9x square minus 16y square, let me take to right side. Now just see, this 9x square, can you write it as 3x whole square? Why? Because 3 square is 9, x square is x square. So that means once you do 3x whole square, we will get 9x square. Then similarly 16y square, how I can write? Can I write 4y whole square? Why? Because 4 square is 16, y square is y square. That means once you do 4y whole square, we will get the same thing. That means 9x square can be replaced as 3x whole square. Why? Because what is the meaning of 3x whole square? 3x whole square means apply square for both 3 and x. That means 3 square x square. 3 square is 9, x square is x square, 9x square. That means once you do 3x whole square, we will get 9x square. That means 9x square can be replaced as 3x whole square. 16y square we can replace as 4y whole square. Why? Because you just do 4y whole square. What we will get? What is 4 square? 16 y square, y square. We will get 16y square. So 16y square we can replace like this. Now it becomes in the form a square minus b square. What is a square minus b square? A plus b into a minus b. See, it is in the form a square minus b square. No, see, this is your a. You just consider this as a and this as b. Now it is in the form a square minus b square. What is the identity for a square minus b square? We learned that a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b. So by using that, this is in the form a square minus b square. So we can write it as a plus b into a minus b. That is a plus b into a minus b. We can write it as a plus b into a minus b because this is in the form a square minus b square. So what is your a here? It is 3x. Then plus b. B is 4y. So a plus b is over. Then a minus b. A 3x minus b 4y. So this is the factorization of this one by using a square minus b square. Okay. So what we can write this 3 as it is. This 9x square minus 16y square we can write like this. 3x plus 4y into 3x minus 4y. 3x plus 4y into 3x minus 4y divided by 3x plus 4y as it is. You just see, you can cancel these two terms. This is the advantage. So what we will get? 3 into 3x minus 4y will remain. Okay. So this is it. Okay. So this is the only one thing differently came or different kind of approach we have made, and we know how to factorize this kind of question by using this identity. So you may understood that. So this is a way of solving this kind of question. And let me tell you one thing, we completed the chapter factorization. That means we didn't discuss all the question, but I selected all the important difficult question for you, and few questions are remaining. You have to practice that question when you get time. You just sit with that question. Once you feel doubt, just call me and ask your doubts. Okay. Otherwise, you can post your doubt in the squadron group. So please learn properly without skipping any portion. And we are going to start the next chapter in the next video. Thank you.